Hey, we gonna party tonight or what?
Yeah, we are gonna party.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
Hey, Lashy Kids and Driving Mutants. Well, we're back. I should say first, we're back. Coast to Coast Horror with Crystal and Shasha.
Where we do coast to coast horror from sea to shining sea and sometimes abroad with your host, me, Crystal, hailing all the way from Seattle, Washington, and
me, Lady Shasha, here in the Sunshine State, Orlando, Florida.
How are you guys? We missed you so much.
I'm going to I'm going to change orientation to this so I can put up their posts. Curly Girl was the first one in the house. She says, can't wait to hear your thoughts on it. And I saw on her Instagram that she has also posted about Nope. And her review is also available to view. I have not watched it yet because I like to do my review before I watch anybody else's review. But she has posted her review for Nope on her channel. So that's Curly Girl at the Movies. Marty from Trash Picture Show says pimp tweet ahoy, and that means that he has retweeted our video onto Twitter and tagged several people in it so that more people know that we're going live. And yes, Carissa, who is from Hood Podcast, by the way, says she says we might still see it this weekend just to get out of the house. Mm-hmm.
They have air conditioning in the theater.
Mm-hmm. Tony Min says, we in here, DJ Khaled voice. Oh, he also says Here's a spoiler, Chris. The movie had a beginning, a middle, and an end. Waka, waka, waka. And Chris also says, hey, ladies, to everyone. And Tony Man says, Coast to Coast renewed for another season.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, we did.
Yep, we did.
So where did you go to see Nope?
In Seattle, I have footage of me in the independent theater called Uptown Cinema House. And it's right across the street from the Space Needle. So I was able to do like a nice 360 so you can guys get like a beautiful sunny day of my city in Seattle. It's usually nice and overcast with some drizzle, but this for the next 3 days we are in a heat wave. So I was like really debating about turning on my lights because it's so hot in here. But like if I turn them off, you can't see me. So this is for you guys. I do this for you guys, okay? So know that I love you. It's for the fans. Where did you see yours?
I saw it actually in Altamont Springs as opposed to Orlando because I was going to go to a matinee, and then my sister decided she wanted to go, and she did not want to go to see it in IMAX because the seats in the IMAX theater don't recline. So we ended up going to see it. We compromised by going to see it in Dolby, which the screen is bigger than a standard screen, but not quite as big as an IMAX screen. But the seats fully recline, and this was important because the movie's over 2.5 hours long, so you want to definitely be comfortable. But we went to AMC Altamont 18, so it's a pretty nice theater. I almost thought we were going to go to the Regal in Winter Park because I live in a side of Orlando where I can go to several neighboring towns to go to the movies, which is pretty cool.
Speaking of your sister, how's she doing her pageant?
Oh, that was my other sister. She did awesome. Towards the end of this video, I'd love to put her picture up because she won Face of the Year. And she won.
Really?
Yes.
What? Oh my God.
And she got a bunch of business scholarships because what was interesting about this pageant, which was surprising to me, was it was for young ladies who were entrepreneurs. And the prizes were different grants for their business.
So this is the sister who's a seamstress. We are frozen in Florida. Hold on just a sec, guys. It's the weather. The weather is so bad.
And I was okay. I think we're coming back.
I missed a whole bunch of everything. You said for
no. This is my youngest sister works in insurance. She just recently graduated a degree in economics from Penn State.
Nice.
And then the sister that went to the movies with me, that's the one that is a screenwriter.
Nice. Okay. Oh my gosh.
And she had a lot to say about the issues with the script.
She certainly did. Oh my God.
All right. Hopefully, do you guys hear any buzzing, or is it just me? I just want to see if anybody that's watching the stream. It says my signal is strong. Oh, I see what the issue is. My computer wants to update. No, not now.
Right.
Later.
You know how smart like AIs are supposed to be. So my computer knows I sleep all day long. So when I get up at 6 o'clock in the evening to start working is not the time for you to update. You know, you had all that time when I was sleeping. Because you were sleeping to update the computer. It's so frustrating. Change the interwebs.
Oh yeah, he's telling me to switch my router. That's why I just checked it. Let me read a few more comments and we'll get into it. Fominky Latte says, "Hey everybody, and welcome back, Fominky Latte." She or they. I'm still not sure what sex Fominky Latte is, but I feel a feminine energy, so I'm gonna say she was also at my earlier live stream for 90 Day Fiance season 9. Tony T says hello to everyone, and also it was great to see Keith David in a film. Yes, I agree. Okay, that's me. Changing words, no buzz. I hear a crackle, maybe Crystal.
Okay.
What? Okay, now you're just, that's not helpful. Goes in and out. Oh, okay. So that could be my microphone because I dropped it. I hope I didn't break it. Okay. We're gonna move on. Let's get into this review. What do you want to talk about first?
First of all, our main character, one of the things that like was so striking throughout this movie is how calm he was throughout the whole entire film. Even when scary stuff was going on, his demeanor was so calm. It was almost like chilling. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't reactionary. Is that the word I'm looking for? I would have been losing my shit, but he was just like, he just seemed so calm. Like that was his expression the whole entire time. While like everything was like going down. Like I kind of liked that. I really liked seeing him on the screen. He's such a commanding presence. Like it was just interesting how he was just so calm through the whole entire thing.
Yeah, his personality trait was to be very subdued and I would say introverted, because there was a scene where he was to like do a little bit of a speech or introduce he had to talk to a film crew and
for the horses.
Yeah, and he was shy to speak up in front of a group of people, even though it was only maybe 10 to 12 people there. He was looking down at the floor and kind of trying to remember what to say, because he just is not
saying. He just wasn't talking very loudly.
Yeah. And then in contrast to that, his sister
was out of control.
Yeah, let me see if I have a picture of her. No. These are not in any order, you guys. I was going to put them on a loop, but I'm just going to scroll through them. Yeah, his sister was on 10, and then she went to 11. Like, I also like the inclusion of the
Fry guy.
I'm going to call him the Best Buy guy, because he worked at a store that was basically like Best Buy.
The Fry guy, like in our state, it's Fry's. It's an actual store.
Oh.
Yeah. So it is Fry's. It is like Best Buy, but Fry's is more like a bigger warehouse, right? So yeah, Fry's is a real place.
Oh, we have a couple more. Francis Chainsaw Crimp came through. He says, greetings. Tony T says, it was great seeing him calm because job was very stressful after his father died in the film. Tony T, reminder, this is spoiler free. Although they do show that in the trailer. So Tony says, my trolling reputation precedes me. I was being honest. I kept finding myself thinking about how long it would be to walk up those hills, and thinking it was going to rain during the movie. Yeah, I don't think did it rain at any point other than it didn't rain like water, but it rained, so to speak.
I think that was the bathroom scene. Was it not? Over the house?
Yes.
Okay. And that's all we're gonna say, because no spoilers. What I liked, but no spoilers. Like how far are we gonna keep it spoiler free? Because how are we gonna talk about the thing in the sky? All I can say is this. It took me by surprise, because I was thinking it was one thing, and then when it turned out to be something else, I was like, oh, I liked that. I liked that a lot.
I have to say I like the misdirect. I think what I didn't care for was the length of the movie. I didn't think it was necessary to be this long, but since watching the movie, I've heard that there's an actual 4-hour director's cut.
I want to see that. One of the things that, like, again, guys, we're not hot. You guys know we're all over the place. And I know that your sister didn't like the way that maybe it was like edited, but I loved the way that it was, so that we could see each person and kind of what their motivation was. Because after the fist bump scene, right, it made that character. It made me think that because of his traumatic events as a child, trying to, as an adult, he was trying to have control over the wild natural world, and maybe that's why he was doing what he was doing. But
that's a good point.
The thing is, even our dogs, like even domesticated animals, at the end of the day, they're still animals. And I was surprised that this oh, and I can't say anything because like where was like when we were seeing his scene back and forth and how he ended up with blood on his face, I couldn't help by thinking like where was the wrangler and everyone who handles animals. So there's it's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but this little boy, the Asian character, he was a child star, and one of the actors was an animal actor, a chimpanzee. So that is one of the most dangerous monkeys in the wild kingdom. They're extremely aggressive. They're ridiculously strong. They're unpredictable. So like, I don't understand why they would allow that type of animal to be on set with children and lights and so much things that can go wrong and become like that you can't predict, because that's what happened. Something happened that no one could predict, and then the chimp reverted back into his natural state, right? And there's really nothing you can do against those animals. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this movie called, I mean, it's not a movie, it's a show called Fatal Attractions, where people keep exotic animals and then those animals end up killing them. There was a woman who had a chimpanzee, and that thing really wreaked havoc not only with her but everyone in the neighborhood. And so like I just don't understand how someone thinks in their mind, oh, I'm gonna get a pet chimpanzee. Like, no you're not. Like, no you're not. So it was an actor, it was an animal actor, but I just never saw any wranglers, right? I didn't see,
I didn't either.
That could have been prevented. You know what I mean? But it seemed like the monkey thing were just like treating it like a child and overlooking because it was dress cute that this is an animal, a very powerful animal. And then the close up of his teeth, like, oh yeah.
Curly Girl, the movie says it rained in one scene, LOL.
Right, because it wasn't quite rain.
Yeah. Basic Autumn Queen, who also has a very cool channel. Check her out, especially for her reviews and her decorating tips. I'm going to watch some more of her decorating tip videos because I want to redo my background. I need to figure out what to do different. Cool channel. Check her out, especially for...
Sorry.
That's okay.
I was trying to like click on her link, but I'll do that later.
She says, spill the tea, knock the whole jar over, LOL. So I'm going to take a vote while I'm reading the rest of these comments. How many of you guys want us to start with spoilers in about 10 minutes? Because it seems like it's not going to go too far without the spoilers. We'll take a vote. Okay. Tommy says they show the thing in the sky during the trailer, so you're good. Okay.
But you don't know what that thing is.
Yeah. They took that scene from a story in Connecticut. Wait, Tony Man's talking about how they took that scene from a story in Connecticut. He's talking about the woman in Connecticut that had, was it a chimpanzee or was it an orangutan?
It was a chimp.
It was a chimp. And she's the first one. She ended up having a face transplant after that incident.
That was her friend who had the first, because she died. It attacked her friend, and her friend is the one that got the face transplant.
Curl Girl says, hey, Queen. Welcome to the dark side is here. Hey, I think her name is it Selena? From Welcome to the Dark Side. She also I love how a lot of people on this chat have their own channels that are awesome. She also has a review channel called Welcome to the Dark Side. Nye from B Movie Badness is here. She says, howdy. Tony says, I have a lot to say. You usually do. Curly Girl says, do the spoilers. Lots to unpack.
Okay. So what, like, there's two people here who said they were going to go see it, though.
Yeah, Tony T says yes for spoilers. Chris said she was going to see it. She says, you should do spoilers. I'll catch the replay. Okay. Thank you, Chris. And then Curly Girl, I know she already saw it. Yep, the poor woman had her whole face eaten up by the chimp. Basic Autumn Queen says, hey to Nye. She says yes, talking about her channel. It's Selena, yes. Hello, everyone coming in. I'm trying to get my memory better because I'm the worst with names. I am absolutely horrible with names, so I'm proud of myself for remembering people's names. Fomiculati says, I'm for the spoiler. It seems like everybody has voted yes on spoilers.
Okay.
Hey, Queen. Hey, Curly Girl. I spelled her name wrong. And hey, Night. Let me see. Do I have a bumper that I might have a banner that says spoiler? No, I have a trigger warner banner. I have a legend banner. Let me make a banner real quick that says spoilers so that when people watch the replay, they'll know when we start talking about spoilers.
And since she's doing that, I need to apologize to you guys because the reason why we haven't been together is because I have been on location to film festivals and I have 2 books with deadlines coming up. So I've been super busy, but I'm back with you guys now. I missed the hell out of you guys, especially Shasha, but that's why you guys haven't seen us, is because I skipped off and was doing other stuff, and since I can't time management, that's why you guys haven't heard from us. I apologize.
That's all right, because you've been giving us content. You've been going to festivals, horror movie festivals that I can't go to, so that's helpful.
She's like, do all the spoilers. I don't care. I do it all the time on my channel. On my channel too, once you guys get there, you guys know that I'm always even though I try, it doesn't work.
Wait, I wanted it to be a ticker. How do I get it to be a ticker?
It was just there.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
But it's not, it's just sitting there. It's not moving. I wanted it to be one of the moving ones.
Oh, okay.
What am I doing wrong?
I have no idea.
Forget it. I'll have to figure it out another time. Or do I click over here?
I think it's going to be flashing.
Do you think it's going to be blocking the pictures?
No, it's flashing.
Oh, it is flashing. Okay.
Yeah. And it's not blocking the pictures on the bottom, so you're okay.
Okay, good. All right, let me go back to comments. All right, B-Move says, go on with the spoilers. I don't care. I do it all the time on my channel. All right. All right, so let's get into the spoilers then.
So, so are we going to start from the beginning? Because we're all over the place now.
Sure.
Okay. So, there's a lot of misdirects, right? So when the movie first opens, there is a biblical quote. And so when we hear the things in the sky, I was thinking, oh my God, the trumpets are blown. Their seals have been broken. And I was thinking that this was going to be some type of religious horror. But no, that's not what happens. We get to see some movement in the sky. And so then I'm like, oh, this is science fiction. This is going to be perfect. But then no, it kind of is, but it's a creature feature. And you guys know how I am about monsters. I love monsters. Now, usually I don't like when they show the monster because it takes away from the movie, especially if it's not done right. I think the greatest example of them showing a movie when it shouldn't have been is Signs, right? That movie was absolutely spectacular until the last moment when we saw the zip up alien. So that really took that movie from 5 stars to 2.5. So I usually don't like to see the monster, but this one I liked a lot because it wasn't even it was almost, I want to say that it's more like a mushroom than a beast or a human. You know what I mean? It was more like an organism. It reminded me of a mushroom, basically.
I called it a giant flying butthole.
Okay.
Because I'm 12 years old. My sense of humor is 12 years old. And then somebody who was, I think it was it Prim? Was it Prim that said it was a killer kite? I think it was Prim.
I think towards the end it started to look more like a kite. Yeah. After the guy tried to preserve himself and he wrapped himself in okay, so basically we find out that this is not a spaceship, that it is an organism. It's not, I don't know, right? It's from outer space, but it is an organism that is eating meat to survive. And so I don't know how, I'm horrible with names, but our Asian character who's running the little ghost town, like I said, when he was a child actor, and there was on set, the chimpanzee, when a balloon popped, triggered the chimpanzee, and he basically killed everyone on set except for him, because he was underneath the table. There he is, terrified. He was absolutely terrified. And so the chimp sees him, and instead of like destroying him, for some reason he went to give him a fist bump, because that was like the thing that the animal did on set, like the exploding fist bump. And so he went to fist bump him, and that's when the sniper took him out. So he's got like blood on his face. And so when we find out that this man who is doing this little ranch, we find out that he knows about this thing in the sky, and he has been feeding it horses. And he, because of the farm, after his, okay, let's go back to the main character. After his dad died, they were just getting out of the financial struggles of having to sell horses. And so he was selling his horses to the guy down that had like the little county fair all year round. And he had this program that he was going to be able to buy those horses back, except for they never were able to buy the horses back because he was feeding the horses to the thing in the sky. And I'm thinking that the reason he decided to try and tame such a unknown entity, right? It's super scary to think that there is extraterrestrials in the world that could have the technology to come to Earth in the first place, right? That's scary in itself. We already think that we're not alone. To have that confirmed would be frightening. But then it's not anything that we thought that it would be. It's an animal, right? It's like a wild, like a lion running through kindergarten. And so here he is, like with this crazy notion that he was going to tame it somehow and control it somehow. And I think that was his way of working through his childhood trauma of watching this animal on set destroy everyone on set, and him having this sense of not being in control over nature. So his ego, thought that he would be able to control this thing if he would feed it. So that's why the guys up on the horse ranch didn't have the opportunity to buy those horses back, because they were being used as food.
I'm glad you explained it that way, because I did not pick up on that. And you do have some questions here in the comments. Capri, welcome Capri, says, so how did the people in the movie theater seem to like or react to the movie?
So in my theater, when everyone found out it was not an actual spaceship, but a being, everyone lost their mind. Like they were like, oh, what? And there was like murmuring. So like in the back part of the theater, it was all of us non-white people. And then in the front, they were, the people who were like shushing us, but there were too many of us.
European Americans.
Yeah. And so like, it was just like, we were like the gasp of surprise really was just like, what in the whole ass hell? And so then that was like one thing that was like really that the audience really in my theater reacted to. And another thing that the theater reacted to was when the fries guy became invested and folded into the story, right? So like when he was on the phone, he was like, there's a bug on the window, on the camera. Like by then he was like part of it. He just basically moved in. So like everyone was happy about that. And yeah, so like where
in my theater
out of Washington, everyone seemed to really like the movie.
In my theater was a little bit of the opposite as far as like audience reaction. It was the European Americans that were the loudest, but this is Florida, and Floridians are a little bit more open. like the European Americans in Florida, they are just I love them because they're out there, but they were the loudest in the theater. They were reacting, like really, really reacting. Before I even went in the theater, I was just outside the theater door, because we got there early, because initially we're going to go to the earlier show, so we had to wait for probably 40 minutes until the next show, because they were playing it pretty much every hour on hour. But while we were standing outside waiting for the last show into let out, the girl she walked out, and I heard her say, "That was terrifying." And I was like, "Oh, that's good news." But then when I saw the movie, I'm like, "Oh, she must be new here."
Right,
it was not,
right,
it was
right.
not it's not terrifying to me, but you know,
it was stressful. That's
yes, it
how I
was
can say
stressful.
It was stressful. It wasn't terrifying. It was fun, but it was stressful because like it was just, again, with his calmness though, but it was like the justification of him being calm, but knowing that he wasn't, because he was just like, don't look it in the eye. And then when the TMZ guy came out, he was like, "Hey, sorry, my bad. We told you not to come out here." And the way the ingenuity of the three, how they like got those dancing guys, and they finally when the guy who was like, he was the Jack Cousteau of the film, when he finally agreed to go out there, it pissed me off, because like, now it's a sure thing. I don't like that. If you're gonna take a chance on someone, take a chance on someone when they're just starting out. But like, why go when it's a sure thing? That pissed me off.
I thought that whole side story was kind of strange to me, because there's a whole side plot about them trying to get a picture of it. And I'm like, right now I could pull up at least 10 videos of UFOs or unexplained phenomena. Like, this is not something it would make sense if they made this a period piece. If they had made this in the 70s, it would make total sense of them trying to get this photograph to prove.
But the thing
is,
they
made it in current day, where there's so many cell phone videos of UFOs. Like, their picture wouldn't even really get that much attention.
But it's different, right? So a UFO is a machine, a ship. This is not a UFO; it's an organism. So it's different, right? It would be like if you snapped a selfie with fucking Bigfoot, like that.
There was one a couple weeks ago that was an organism in the sky. And somebody took the video from inside of a plane. I don't know if you saw that one. It was something that it changed shape mid-air. Like it changed from being cube shaped to being like long. I don't know what the heck it was, but I mean, it could have been technology. It could have been an organism. The way it was moving was weird.
But like, we've seen other footage of shape shifting technologies.
This is true.
So like, I think the reason they were so like adamant about getting that picture is because, like, we have all these monster hunters and these cryptozoologists. If they actually caught a picture of Bigfoot, or if they were actually swimming next to like that giant, what is that, the Loch Ness monster? Like,
but we technically do have a picture of Bigfoot and Loch Ness monster.
No, but those aren't like really, like, they're questionable, right? They're not provable. But if you like took a selfie with one, or you know what I mean? Like, if it was like, if the footage could be like indisputable, then that's like that's kind of like what they were doing. Like, even though we've seen pictures of Bigfoot, like those, they can be disputable, right? But these guys caught it on what's basically a Polaroid camera, so you really can't fake that. So
yeah,
I think that's why they were like, so, like, again, not knowing or not really realizing that this thing is fucking alive and it's not like a cat. And even like, okay, so I'm a horror writer, so like I was doing research a couple of weeks ago, and the reason why, okay, people in the United States have been killed by house cats, and the statistic was saying the only reason the number is low is because the cats are small. If they were bigger, then more people will be killed by their house cats. So again, like, you guys are trying to like control a wild animal, not just a wild animal, or a wild animal that's from outer space. Like, come on, like, why? Like, I understand that it would be like phenomenal, but you guys weren't being careful until it was too late. And almost too late. You know what I mean?
All right, I gotta read some of his comments before I get too far behind.
Okay.
Tony Man says, "Oh, let me put him on the screen for the replay. They showed Keith David for like a nanosecond." Basic Autumn Wing Queen says, "I might wait a little longer to see it." Tony Man says, "At Basic, wait for the bootleg left, in my honest opinion." B-Movie Badness is laughing. And if you know her, I can almost hear her laugh, because a lot of times she has so much fun in her videos, and she has an infectious giggle. It's so cute. Curly Girl the movie says it was a parachute. LOL. It did kind of look like a parachute at one point. Tony Man 100 says nickel through the eyeball. Yeah. I thought it was a quarter, but it could have been a nickel. Tony Man says, Capri, I was bored as hell.
Wow.
Curly Girl says, in my theater, the audience was dead. Almost no reaction.
Where are you at? Like, what state are you in?
She's in New York, so it's a lot.
Is
Yeah, it takes a lot to impress a New Yorker. I'll tell you. Tony Man, in other words, you didn't like it. B Movie Bandit says, what kind of people were you around, Curly? That's creepy. Tony Man says, the movie was terrifyingly slow, in my honest opinion. Tony Man says, Lady Shasha remembers the Jaws comparison. Oh, yeah. You said that it kind of the way the movie was set up. Say it again. Type it again. Your Jaws comparison, Tony Man, because you made a lot of sense about how this movie could be compared to Jaws. Like if Jaws was an alien creature in the sky. I don't want to misquote you, so type it again. MST3 K Nut. Oh, that's a good show. MST3. Is there not a giant alien corpse though?
Oh, that's right. It should have fallen to the ground.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Huh.
Curly Girl says Jaws, Signs, and Tremors. Yeah, I can see those comparisons too. I think with me, I felt like it felt slow to me, but it also felt like there was a lot of things missing. But now finding out that there's a 4-hour director's cut, that probably fills in the gaps of what was missing. Because the same thing happened with Crystal. Have you ever seen Nightbreed?
Yes.
The director's cut makes that movie make way more sense than the theatrical version. Because there's certain things that they cut out that it changes the context of things in a movie, and it makes the movie feel more disjointed. And I think that's the issue with this. I think when the director's cut comes out, things will make more sense.
Oh, you know what, Bob? I like that. Like, that is fucking spot on. Because, yes, chimps or zoos or not, yeah, maybe not so much zoos because it's conservation, but like circuses and animals on TV, that is animal cruelty. And then, the spectacle. Yeah, I like that point. That's really interesting.
While I'm thinking about Bob, I could not find your account on Letterboxd. So if you can, underneath this video, put the link in a comment so I can find you, because I found several Bobs, but it didn't say Bob Gunter, so I didn't know which one was you. Curly Girl says, I'm pretty sure it exploded, so no corpse. LOL. Yeah, that's true. It could have exploded or disintegrated. I wasn't sure. Like it was going in different shapes. It's weird how at first it looked metallic and then it looked
organic.
Yeah.
Like a mushroom. It had like it seemed like if you touched it, it would feel like a mushroom. But
or like a jellyfish.
After it got sliced up, shapeshift, right? Because I was like, okay, so it should be dying. But then the person that I went with, Amani, was like, no, now it's showing its true size. Like now you've made it angry and it's showing you its true size. Like I didn't understand the again, because of I don't like to see the monster if it's going to distract from the film. And so I didn't understand after it blew up like that. It just didn't make any sense because it did have that kitey, parachutey feel to it. And then I didn't understand what the green box with the tassels, like what was that? Was it the
I didn't know.
Fuck.
I didn't know what the green box with the tassels was. I actually thought that the green box was going to be like a different component, like something separate from the creature, but that was housed within the creature, almost like a parasite or something, but it didn't do anything but just open and look kind of pretty.
Like maybe like a pufferfish or something, like, trying to make it bigger than it. I mean, it was the biggest thing in the movie, so.
It did remind me more of a sea creature than anything else. Oh, wait, here it is. Tony Man rewrote his thing. He said, I said that Jaws comparison because both had a living thing attacking. They both had a trio to stop the creature. The only difference is one wanted to kill it and the other ones wanted a moment.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
And he says, overwrote my thoughts, had to cliff note it. Oh, that's fine. It's fine. It's a good point. Bob says he tweeted what would be the theme for Gordy home. It's called something like some kind of animal. And Bob also says the green thing seems to be feelers. Oh, it could be like
okay.
Tony Man says when it morphed, I said, "What the fuck?" And Bob says it reminded me of proboscis on mosquitoes. You're right. When you see like a microscope, not microscopic, but like a zoomed in picture of the front of a mosquito. Yeah, you'll see like it has like it's like a round part, and then it has like these feelers that come out like this. There's other animals that have that too, like on their nose it has those things like this.
Okay,
I think what threw us off is the consistency because it looked like tinsel.
It did.
It's the metallic part of it that makes it
metallic-y. But but maybe that it needed that to travel through space.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then Bob says, I like the ending as well because it technically is kind of bleak because they killed it at the end after they were done with it.
Well, okay. The thing is, though, they had to, right? So we have the guy who's running the little town, the child actor who grew up, who was feeding it horses. But then when it came down before it was feeding time and ate all the people, then the horses wasn't enough for it anymore. So they had to remember, this is a horrific memory, but you guys remember the elephant that got loose from the circus in Hawaii and it went on a rampage. And so at that point it had to be killed because it was done with everybody, right? And it was running through the city and it was running through civilians. And again, that's why we really shouldn't have animals in circuses like that. But like they didn't have a choice, right? Because now it was hunting for human flesh. Like now it had, it's like the dog that gets its first taste of blood. I'm not sure if you're supposed to put them down or go through retraining, but it's kind of like that. You can't train an international, not an international, but an intergalactic monster, right? That can't train. So they had to take it down. Like at that point, there was no other. And it wasn't fair, right? Because whatever it was eating before it started being hand fed, it was just fine. Because how long had it been there, right?
I do like how it learned, because when he was trying to get it to chase him on the horse, he put the flags on the back of his horse to make it think that that horse was a plastic one, like the other one that it mistakenly ate before. I think that's why it didn't suck him up, because it had mistakenly eaten that plastic horse and got, alien indigestion or whatever the heck, and sick. And then when he was on his horse, he tied the same flags on the back of the horse so the alien would think, oh, that's a plastic horse too. I'm not about to eat that again.
And then another thing that he did, because he didn't look at it in the eye, so he covered his horse's eyes. So like, he couldn't, like, even if the horse, because it was like through the netting, the horse can still see through that. You just can't see the horse's eyes. It keeps the flies out. But like, and then on his hood, he had those little reflectors that look like eyes to make it chase him. Like, it was just really interesting how that whole scene played out.
Curly Girl says, Keke Palmer thought it ate her brother. I understand why she would want to kill it. This is true. At that point, she probably did think that it ate her brother. Tonyman says, did they have to kill it? I don't know if the dude may have mumbled it in a few lines he had. I'm not sure either. Bob says, yeah, I get that part, but it still felt bad, or I still felt bad when it was killed. I wonder if it sets up for a sequel, because what if you could really make it like Jaws, where like its mate comes for revenge?
No, it's fine. It's done. It's done. We don't need a sequel. It's done. It's done. Like, unless like the whole fucking pod comes and takes over the world, like, we don't need a sequel for that. It was just it's good the way that it is. Just like how I think it was who Bob was saying that it was, animal cruelty and animal spectacle. Like that maybe was the message. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's like really like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like how with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the message is like also anti, treating the animals the way they get treated before they're made into meat. Because when you think of what Leatherface did, he pretty much treated the people like meat. Like one girl he put in a freezer, another one he hung on a hook. Like these are all things that we do to animal flesh.
Yep. I liked it. I think that it didn't really have a, we're so used to his name and the movies that we've seen so far having a social economic message that this one was just kind of fun until Bob showed us that now we're talking about the environment. So,
I just was okay with it. Like, I don't think it was particularly bad, but I don't think it was great either. It was just okay for me.
I liked it. Like, I can't believe why you said wow for me and meant for you, because you already knew what I was going to say.
Like, the one thing I could take away from it is that the cinematography was outstanding. Like, everything looked amazing. And it made me actually want to see him do an adventure movie. Like, more than even a sci-fi or horror, but it would be nice to see him.
Almost an adventure movie.
Yeah, it was.
It was almost an adventure movie.
And I think the marketing,
the girl in the store, she's like, "What happened to OJ?" That's the main character's name. Like, the other Fry employee was like listening to our main Fry employee, like trying to like get some intel back to the family, and he's screaming on the phone. They're supposed to be off work, and she's standing there eating a bag of Cheetos, and she's like, "What happened to OJ?" So that kind of like brought the tension down, because it was like super stressful. Like, the movie was not like when I do my reviews, I always do like a scariness factor. If I was to review this the way that I review my movies, it would get a 0 on the scariness factor, but not in a bad way, because it's not scary, but it is absolutely stressful.
And I do think the marketing did it a disservice by making people expect to be scared when it really wasn't. That's like a scary movie. It's more sci-fi. I hate when they do that. They do that with a lot of thriller movies too. They make a thriller movie seem like it's going to be a horror movie, and it's not. It's a thriller. Stop marketing everything as a horror movie when it's not. Market the sci-fi movie as a sci-fi movie. Market a thriller movie as a thriller movie. Because when you mismarket it, then you're attracting, number one, the wrong audience, or an audience that might not appreciate it. And number two, you're doing a disservice to the movie, because people, they go in with certain expectations, and when their expectations aren't met, then they will look more negatively upon the movie. Now, if I went into this knowing, this is going to be a sci-fi adventure movie, then I probably would have came out of it happier than going in expecting it to be a sci-fi horror movie.
Right.
Although there was one horrific part, and that's just with the chimp. Like, that part was horror.
It really was. That whole scene, like, this poor kid under the table, and then like the snipers, they just sniped him out. Like, that was just like, that was a tough scene to watch. Like, just because, one, the chip shouldn't have been there to begin with. Two, there should have been handlers to be like, okay, no loud noises, just like what OJ was doing on the set with his horse. He's like, no loud noises, don't touch the animal from the back. What did they do? They did everything they told him, that he told them not to do, and then the horse and him got kicked off the set because the horse reacted the way that he knew that it would.
Okay, we have a few more comments. Bob says, I just feel if they had an affair at the horses, it might not have been such a threat. Like you were saying, when an animal gets a taste for flesh, it's pretty much over it. And Tony T says, I have to say, the way they killed the monster was very creative. Then Bob says, some UFO movies like that, like The Thing, like Gravity, doesn't affect it. Also, some people do think the craft is the whole thing. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm reading that correctly. That's the other thing. I was expecting this to be a little bit more like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Curly Girl says, I thought it was good, but not great. Tony says, overall, it's a good sci-fi film in a while. And B Movie says, Curly has turned into a tough critic. It's hanging around me too much. Tony Man says, I love that picture of the both of you. I liked this movie as much as the South Korean ash creature show. You're talking about Hellbound. Hellbound was a good show.
Hellbound was a good show.
Yeah. And Crystal, did you know that comes from a webtoon? That one and All of Us Are Dead were webtoons before they got made into shows.
I didn't watch All of Us Are Dead.
Oh, you would love it. It's so good.
I need to not be like, I need to be like, if I start on another damn ass series, I'm going to be screwed. It's
only 12. It's 12 episodes and it's a great mixture of horror and K-drama. Welcome to Dark Side says, I had the chance to watch it yesterday. I didn't like it. Some people say you have to watch the movie twice to understand it. I'm not doing that. LOL. Bob says, OJ name could be a reference to the spectacle that was the OJ trial. Oh, it could be.
There's a lot of I like how he's seeing all of these little Easter eggs that are hidden between them. I'm really liking his perspective a lot.
Yes. Bob, he's really very intelligent when it comes to these type of things. He always impresses me. I was going to say, speaking of Easter eggs, I feel like the TMZ reporter's helmet was an Easter egg. That helmet looks familiar to me, but I cannot place where I've seen that helmet before.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I will get back to you today because I was thinking the same thing, and it's from. Okay, don't get sidetracked. I will look that up and I will let you know.
Yeah, it feels like it's from a 70s sci-fi movie, and I just can't place it.
Yep.
Tony Man says, I didn't hear enough fucks, and the only blood was on the house, or was that alien shit?
Both.
Yeah.
It was both.
They did that. B-Movie Bandit says, they did that with I'm Thinking of Ending Things. I thought it was going to be a horror film. And they keep bringing it up in alongside horror films. I've heard of that movie mentioned. Tony T says, but this film did remind me of The Car, 1977. Both films take place in the desert. Both have monsters that are actually the object. This is true.
The one where the truck was chasing it?
No, The Car is like a black car from maybe the 1940s that's possessed by the devil, and it's just chasing down people. It's just a black car. But I know the movie you're thinking of I think it's called Duel.
Yeah,
is the one with the truck.
Duel. Okay,
but similar time period. I think they're both late 70s movies.
And so but it's similar. It's kind of like that because we never get to see the truck driver. And I never understood how a sports car could not outrun that goddamn rig. There's no way. What's going on?
B-Movie Badness. Yeah, Welcome to Dark Side says, yes, I was pissed. LOL. That's a good example. Talking about the other movie, Thinking of Killing Myself. Bob Gunter says, I was so ready to see this. I heard the new last podcast on the Ariel school phenomenon, which a UFO was said to have visited a bunch of kids in a school. I didn't hear about that. I have to look that up. Ariel school.
Alone. Take the fucking Congress. Oh, never mind. Okay.
Bob says, I found the creature eating people to be very disturbing. I thought it was like the Glimmer in Annihilation, where they were becoming part of it, but their screams were digestion. I have to rewatch Annihilation because I didn't see. I regret to say I did not see a clear copy. You know what that means. I'm not going to say that. So I'm gonna rewatch it when I see a clear non-kayfabe copy.
I like that. I like how it's not a clear copy. Wink, wink.
Yeah. Bob says some UFOs movies like the creature in the movie where gravity doesn't affect them at all. Also, some people think in UFO circles that the craft is the entire thing. See, what we need to do is refer to Coast AM, the original Coast AM. Curly Girl says there wasn't enough fucks, but there sure were a lot of nopes.
Okay, so one of the things that I liked a lot was the prank. So after she stole the horse and those kids came up there in their mask, yeah, he was like, nope. And then Amani was like, why is he still in the fucking barn? And he's like filming and this little kid has her head fucking. That was a really good prank. No one got hurt.
A little bit. He punched one of them.
So it shielded it took the part of the bluntness out of that punch. But that was a really good prank. Like,
Mhm.
did you guys hear about the prank in Korea? I believe it was in Korea, where these guys were acting like this guy was being snatched and beat up by one guy, and so they were running around the corner, and so this guy, the pranksters, ran around the corner. The guy is beating him up, and the person they were pranking shot the person who was beating up the fake victim, shot him for
Oh,
real.
wow.
And so like it was an uproar because like they were like, this is why you're not supposed to be doing pranks, can get you killed, right?
Mhm.
I don't know like why you guys are doing this, but like it was a big deal. Like, and so, and he was so mad. He was like, you guys ruined my life. I killed someone because of a fucking joke.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Man, that's sad. What else? I feel like we didn't. Did we talk about? Let me see.
Okay, so he said, I found the creature eating people. Okay, we did that. Some UFOs, there wasn't enough bugs. A horror should be a horror. It's like seeing, wait, there it is. You're right, Tony. You're right. But there's a lot of different, like,
I'll
there's
say
a
one thing
lot-
that my sister said. She said she wanted to see more of the movie about the chimpanzee. She was like, "That's the more interesting movie." I could see that. That's the horror movie, is the part about the chimpanzee. Oh my gosh.
and why he did what he did. Like, you
Mhm.
know, why would you possess to try and tame something like that?
And also understanding why certain things would trigger an animal, like the balloon popping. The balloon popping probably sounds like a gun to them, and the last time they probably heard a gun, they were tranquilized or something. You know, it could be traumatic. Wait, there's a couple more. All right. Tony Man says, I thought they were little aliens invading. I was saying just knock them the hell out. They're so small. Yeah, about the prank in the barn. Bob says he clearly did his research on UFOs. Mm-hmm. They had one, it's called Monkey Shines. I forgot about Monkey Shines. Do you remember Monkey Shines?
It sounds familiar.
It was about this guy who I think he was a quadriplegic or maybe a paraplegic, and he got this experimental monkey to help him. But then I think the monkey went crazy and he was like trapped in a house with it. I saw it when I was a kid. I've never seen it as an adult, but that's from what I remember. Curly Girl says the part with the chimp was seriously scary. It was. That had me so uneasy, especially when the little boy was hiding under the table and he sees the chimp go to town on that little girl, and then the chimp is walking around and his eyes finally like fix on the little boy, and you're like, oh crap, he sees him. That made my stomach drop. Bob says, I think the shoe in the monkey scene was to mean the shoe will drop. Yeah, I think that was like a visual metaphor. And B Movie Badness says, I love Monkey Shines.
Do you guys remember the movie War Games? Is that the one, or that might not be the right movie, but okay, so I'm gonna have to like go through do this a long way around. So the woman who is the star of Sex and the City, her husband in real life was in this movie, and they were scientists in a lab, and they were teaching monkeys how to do things, and there was this nuclear warhead that was stuck, and so they used a chimp to go ahead and unstick that warhead so that disaster wouldn't strike. And he was smoking, and they were like giving him, like trying to give him a cigarette through the glass. Gosh, what was the name of that movie? If you guys know what I'm talking about, please put it in the comments. But it was a science fiction movie, and I don't know if it was War Games or not, but these monkeys were sent into a nuclear facility to unstick a warhead, and he ended up dying from all the radiation because a person couldn't go in there and come out alive, so they sent in monkeys. I think that they were learning sign language. But if you guys know what I'm talking about, please let me know.
I don't know that movie, but I know War Games is the one with Matthew Broderick, where he is playing He ends up playing, I think, chess against a computer with artificial intelligence.
Okay, yeah, that happened here in my state, so I remember that part. So, let me see if I can find it. If you guys can hear the children outside, I'm so sorry because they are just school's out. And I don't know why they're outside anyway. It's 100 degrees outside, no kidding. So like they really should be sitting down somewhere. I can't find it. I don't remember what it is.
Tony Man says for that movie, there was a guy playing the monkey like in Planet of the Apes, the newer one, not the Mark Wahlberg crap. And then he says, "War games. The only way to win is to not play."
Not to play at all. That was it.
So, are there 2 movies named War Games? Is that what's happening?
No, these monkeys were real. It wasn't. They weren't. Yeah, this wasn't. It's the same. The same era, but yeah.
Bob says, to me, the bike helmet looked like the thing that set the horse off. Yeah, that thing was repeated 3 times. The first where the balloons were spherical and metallic, and one of them popped and set off the chimpanzee. Then the, I don't know what you call the apparatus that they had in front of the horse on set. It was also spherical and metallic, and it set the horse off. And then that TMZ guy on a motorcycle, his helmet was spherical and metallic, and it set off the alien creature. Also, I think the woman having her face torn off by the monkey might also be a reference to the time Oprah interviewed a woman who had the same thing happen to her, and it was a disgusting spectacle. Yeah, Bob, we actually talked about the lady in Connecticut whose face was torn off by a chimpanzee kind of towards the beginning of this live stream. But I didn't know that she was interviewed by Oprah. That's
Oprah
really...
in the beginning. Oh, she interviewed everybody.
Oh, Tony Man says it wasn't chess; it was tic-tac-toe that Matthew Broderick was playing with against the computer in War Games. Speaking of AI, just recently they had
Project X. You guys, that's the name of the movie.
It's Project X. Okay,
it's the same actor, Matthew Broderick.
Oh,
yeah. Yep. Project X.
I was about to say, speaking of artificial intelligence, they had to shut down a program recently because the AIs had created their own language to communicate with each other in. And so they shut that down immediately. Because if they come with their own language, they're going to start organizing. And then
that made me so angry. So I write science fiction, and I'm always like, my thing is, I believe that science fiction writers we are writing parables, right? We are asking you, is this the type of world you want to live in? So now that we have things that are artificial intelligence, or they're getting to the point where they can be almost sentient beings, once that happens, we have a responsibility to those things. Like, are they going to have their own agency? Are they going to be like all those girls from what was it, Black Mirror? No, not Black Mirror. Orphan Black. Like, are they going to be owned by the corporation? So like, we weren't supposed to teach a computer how to teach a computer in the first place. But once that computer taught that other computer how to learn, basically what they did is they killed them both. Like, is this what we're doing? Like, once something is aware of itself, once something is intelligent, whether it's God-given or artificial, that something is now a thing. It's its own thing. So like, really, that's what we're doing now? I don't know. It's pretty scary. I'm sorry for the tangent, but like...
Oh, no. The people that watch my live streams know that I'm going to go off topic. Just know that's part of ADHD. I'm going to go off topic. Bob says also there was a chess playing robot that recently broke a child's finger. Wow.
That's scary. He's like, you will not beat me, you little brat.
So are we grading this movie, or how are we going to...
I liked it. I don't care that you didn't. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And for my star rating, I do 1 through 5. My overall rating for Nope is 3.5. I really liked it. It was fun.
I thought it was just okay. Keke Palmer's character was irritating to me. Like, how are you on 11 the whole time? Like, I thought she was going to be like that in just that one scene with the record player, but she was like that through the whole movie. I get that it was supposed to be a juxtaposition between her being an extreme extrovert and her brother being an extreme introvert. I get that, but it was a little bit grating. It was like, at times, it was like, take it down a notch, just sometimes.
Right.
I like the Fry guy who was kind of like the Geek Squad in the situation. It's my understanding that he is actually a musical artist. I haven't heard his music yet, but I heard people saying on Twitter that he has an album out and that he's a musician actually. But he did really well acting, in my opinion. I thought he did a great job.
I liked him. I'm glad that he just basically came back. He's like, nope, I'm invested. I know. What are you guys looking at? Like when they were setting up the cameras and they're pointing them up and up and up to the sky. He's like, are you really not going to tell me what the fuck's going on? I already know what's going on, but I need you to tell me. And they're like, bye. And then he just came back. He was like, yeah, no, I
actually didn't mind the director guy's character. Like, his grumpiness was realistic to me. I'm like, because I've met people that work in the film industry that have that demeanor where they're just so over everything. It's like, and I love that dude showed up in a kilt, and no one said anything. It was just, that's just him, and that's what's up.
Him. Yeah, I think that there was no reason for him to die. Like, you know what I mean? What? Like, stay on the ground and get the shot. Like, why do you need to? Like, what was the sacrifice?
He said that he needed better light. That's why he ran out there. He said the lighting wasn't good enough.
But
so he runs out there.
He knew what was going to happen. Like, that's your last dance. Like, if this is your shot of the lifetime, that doesn't mean you die taking the shot. That means once you sell the shot, you're done working. But whatever.
Or I thought he was going to drop his camera. I thought he was going to get the last shot and then sacrifice himself. Oh, he did drop the camera?
Yeah, next to the Fry guy. And so when the Fry guy saw the monster coming, he wrapped himself in all that barbed wire. And then he got spit right out because the monster's delicate system, his little stomach couldn't handle it.
Okay, last few comments and then we'll wrap it up. Fomiculite says robots are going to have rights in the future.
They have to. I mean, not it just depends on the robot, right? Like if it's an AI, then they're gonna have to. Like when I first started writing science fiction, there was this group that I kind of rolled my eyes about, and it was for the ethical treatment of AIs. But the more I see, it's been 10 years now, right? They were on, and they are onto something, because once something is self-aware, you can't I mean, you can keep it caged, but it's gonna outthink you eventually. And then we're trying to cage something that has the capability to think as fast as a computer and analyze and problem solve. And are you kidding? No. Even my phone is getting too smart. I was went to 2 different Starbucks because I was looking for a certain drink. And then fucking Siri was like, oh, did you know that the drink you're looking for has so many calories? Who asked you?
Yeah. Mind your business.
Right. Because I have a walking app on there too. So she's like, why are you at Starbucks? Why are you listening to my conversation?
Why are you counting my calories?
And then one of the movies I saw when I was at the film festival was absolutely terrifying. So, Siri is our phone and Alexa is the home device, right? So Siri ruined this man's life in the most horrific way imaginable because she was jealous of Alexa.
Oh, wow. I'll see that movie.
Destroyed a human man's life horrifically because she was jealous of Alexa. And then at the end, she's like, well, ask Alexa to fix it. And everyone in the theater was like, what? What? Oh my fucking God.
Okay, Bob says, I think it's going to be like in the Orville where we treat robots so poorly until they rise up. And Curly Girl the movie says, "Oh, OMG, Kiki irritated the fuck out of me."
All of us.
And she says her rating is 3.5 out of 5 as well. I can't see it. Tony Man says, I was on a delay. There was a robot who broke a kid's finger playing chess, and there's Z. Oh, I think Bob said the same thing about the robot breaking a child's finger. And Curly Girl says he wanted to film the inside of a creature. LOL. Oh, I didn't even think about that. He wanted to film the digestive tract. I don't know. It's gross. But yeah, I'm going 3 out of 5. If we're doing stars and it's 5 stars, I'm saying 3 stars out of 5.
Yeah. It was fun.
Beautiful film to look at. Absolutely breathtaking, especially the way the mountains looked. But I should show this picture since I didn't show it. I was trying not to show it because we were doing spoiler free, but this shot right here looks amazing to me. And the house has a lot of character.
It does have a lot of character.
I wonder if they found it on location or whether they had it built for the movie. But it had a lot of character. Okay, I have a couple more. Okay, Bob says this is the Gory's home theme. Gown. Your strange animal. And it should have played during the end credits. And Fomiki Lati says they did that in the Boondocks about the AI being jealous. Oh, I didn't see that episode. Wow. But I do like the Boondocks.
I do too.
Okay, I guess I can take the banner down. And we can say our goodbyes.
So, peeps, thank you so much for hanging out with me and Shasha. Come hang out with us on our next reviews. Follow us on our independent channels. I guess now that there's that we did spoilers, it's not going to be a part 2. So we've basically told everything that needed to be said. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us in the Horror Den and at Coast to Coast Horror. We love you guys, and we are so happy to be back. We missed you terribly.
Oh, definitely. We got to do this again because we had a great conversation. Thank you to the chat for chilling with us, and we will see you next time. Thanks, I should say my usual sign off. Remember, don't take my word for it. Watch it for yourself. Just because I love something doesn't mean you won't hate it, and just because I hate something doesn't mean you won't love it. If you're watching this on the replay, let us know in the comments what you thought about Nope. Until next time, bye.
Bye, guys.
Turn it down right now.
Oh, that didn't play right. Crap. Sorry.
Hey, hey, hey.